Hey guys, welcome to PHENOMSOUND, and in today's video I want to show you how to synthesize a bass that is very often used by Baroque, Noise and other producers out there. And it's based on very distorted sine waves with a tiny bit of frequency modulation. And it sounds like this. This is a full studio project. All of the Serum presets and samples from it, including the drum samples, are available on my Patreon page. Also, I've just released a crazy preset pack called Annihilation. There are 70 neurofunk presets, so if you are looking for the sound that is similar to this demo that I've just showed you, go ahead and check the preview, it's down below. And here's the bass solo. And let's start from scratch and select sine waves on both oscillators and set the octave of the first oscillator to -2 and the semitone of the second one at 7. Move the level of this oscillator down and FM from B on the first oscillator and set it at 40. Enable the noise and set the pitch at 65. And we're also going to be using this sub-oscillator, set the octave to -2 and enable the filter. We are going to be using the flanger minus, enable the filtering of the B, noise and the sub-oscillators and set the cutoff at 130 Hz. Drag the first LFO to it and first let's take care of this LFO. Enable the retriggering and set the rate to 2 bars. Then let's use it to automate the cutoff and set it at around 23 or 25. Let's also use it to automate the sync of the second oscillator. Set it at 40. Nice. And let's jump to the second LFO. Also enable the retriggering, enable the dotteds and set the rate to 1/8 dotted. Make this envelope look like this. And use it to automate the level of the second LFO or the first LFO of the noise and set it at 55 over here. Nice. Let's get rid of the post-processing. So dry, it sounds like this. Let's set the level of the sub-oscillator at around 90%. Let's also use the third LFO to automate the master tuning of this sound. Set it to unipolar. Then set the amount at 1 and select the LFO number 3 as the source. Then let's make this envelope look like this. Enable the retriggering and set the rate to 1/8. This adds vibrato to our sound. Making it much more interesting, and that's the trick that every drum and bass producer is using most of the times. Then let's use this first LFO to automate the master tuning once again. LFO number 1, make it unipolar and set it to 1. So now we have a nice pitch gliding up and down effect. Let's finalize the result by jumping to the fixie step, enabling the distortion, and select the 0 square type of distortion and move the drive all the way up. That's more like it. We could have used this tube one, but this 0 square is super sharp type of distortion and it gives even bigger distortion than this tube one. And if you want some Baroque type of bass, you want a huge amount of distortion and sharpness. So this is what makes the probably 80% of our sound, this distortion. Then let's use the flanger, set the mix at 55 to add some space and more movement. Then let's compress it, enable the multiband compression, set again at 15 decibels, and the low frequency compression at 130. Finally, let's get back to the main tab and set the resonance of the flanger minus filter at around 45. What makes this sound really interesting is this 7th note of the second oscillator. Add in some harmonies and this sync automation. Makes it a bit more talking. And then let's take a look at the post-processing. It's very basic and it's really good because the more time you are spending on your sound design inside Serum, the less work you have to do on your FL Studio side. Just some basic stuff like compressor, I'm reducing the high frequencies and boosting up some mids, then setting the downwards compression at 15%. Then I'm using isotope ozone in major to make sure that my sub is dead mono. I'm setting everything below 100 Hz mono. And then some post EQ, reducing the mud and some sharpness. Emphasizing the sub and these 3K Hz crispy frequencies. Then I'm duplicating this sound and using a high-pass filtering to make a really wide noisy layer on top of this main one, because this one is almost dead mono and we need some width in our mix. That's exactly the same bass, but I've used erosion on it. It's the free remake of the Ableton Live's erosion. It makes things noisy. Changing the color of our noise a bit, making it a bit more dirty and grungy. Then the same EQ and some high pass EQing. Let's compare it in the mix without this layer, it's very important. So yeah, you see that using a couple of simple sine waves and lots of distortion, you can get really interesting results. If I have managed to put some knowledge into your head and to make your life easier, please hit like, subscribe to PHENOMSOUND to stay tuned for more tutorials. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to visit my Patreon page, follow my Instagram page. I'm posting lots of my music production stuff and some of my personal stuff. So if you want to stay tuned, you are always welcome here. Thank you so much for watching this video and see you in my next one. Bye.